I parked. I don't know where I parked. I don't know my way around Washington
Yep.
Park.
Yeah.
I just parked somewhere and then just walked.
When was the last time you thought about this?
I Years ago. I've completely like
You put up a wall?
put up a wall and blocked it out of my memory. Like it's one of those things that I was so ashamed of.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've completely blocked it out.
People can do that, you know.
And I think it's because I embarrassment and shame, hate myself at that time for it. And then I have a life. I have two great kids, and it's just stupid.
So I guess I got two other things. You know, have you ever did you keep any trinkets of the baby,
No,
anything like that?
no. I mean, it was so fast.
Any
It was
any photos of you from that time you still have?
no,
No.
Ever like write a diary or like a journal about it?
no, no. I have nothing. Like I said, it was nobody knew. Not one person knew anything from the time I got pregnant till what happened, and to this day.
So the other part of this is, right, because you're not the first person to do something like this. It happens a lot more than you think, right? And in preparation for this, I've done a lot of research. And one of the things, actually, it's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to ask you. So we now have a sample of your DNA, right? We had a search warrant for it as well, it's just so you're aware. If we insert that into, now you said you don't watch true crime stuff, you don't watch any podcasts. So I'm going to educate you a little bit here. There's a system called CODIS, right? So a lot of times there will be crimes or remains found, right? And we can't identify the person. And what we'll do is put their DNA in CODIS. And eventually, we'll get a hit as soon as their DNA hits the system. Like, you've never been arrested,
Never.
you've never given a sample of DNA or anything, right?
Mhm.
So my question to you is this. If I put your DNA into CODIS, which I can do, right? We can do that. Is that going to hit to any other human remains that have been found anywhere and it's anywhere in the country?
No.
Are you positive?
Positive.
This is the only time.
Yes.
You're sure? Because now is the time to get ahead of it.
Positive. Positive. Never.
Okay. And
I'm
honestly,
a cut and dry, clean, rule following
yeah.
person.
Monday to Friday, you work. You leave the house at 7:19 to 7:46. The afternoon, you get home 4:46 to 5:29 at night. On the weekends, you go away with Brian sometimes. I'm sure spend the night at his house. Now that Josh is back at Sienna, you got an empty nest. It's just you and the cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, by all accounts, you live a cookie cutter life. But, unfortunately, what we want to talk to you about was 27 years ago. But while we're speaking, obviously I have to, one, advise you of what can happen. It'd be messed up if I didn't, right? Two is offer you the opportunity, because, believe you me, other people, that's happened. A long time ago. You're a different person. It's a lifetime ago. Right? But we all deserve the answers. Even yourself, like the reflection on who you were at that time, right? And
25-year-old girl who made a mistake and didn't know how to handle it and was embarrassed and didn't ask for any help.
yeah, I mean, I also see it too as, and correct me if I'm wrong, but seeing how having this newborn is going to mess up what you have going on. Is that fair?
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
fair. And I mean, ashamed, embarrassment. Like I said, I was a town babysitter. I love kids, and I don't, to this day, don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
I think you you freak out, and
Yeah.
you,
I mean,
it's
yeah.
No.
No.
You look at my phone now. Even it's my friends. Like I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know.
It happens.
It's,
It's sometimes things get away from people, you know, because I guarantee that happening now, it wouldn't play the same way.
No,
You know?
even my kids, anything happened with my kids now, if they had, you know, my daughter's not in a relationship, my son is, he's been with this girl for a couple of years, and I say to them all the time, come to me.
Right.
I just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I blocked it out.
I mean, were you aware at that time you could bring the child to a hospital? You could bring it to a
Yes,
clinic?
but like I said, I think heat of the moment,
Just kill it.
I honestly don't have an answer. I think I just panicked and,
Yeah.
I,
You don't have to explain anything
no,
to me.
I'm trying to, myself too.
Yeah. All right, Keri. Well, one of the last things we got to do, police work's all about documentation, right? So we got to go through, get your formal statement about what happened here, everything we just talked about, in some substance just boiled down, and lock that down so we can do our jobs here. And then we'll take a second, figure out where we're at, and see if you're getting out of here, you're staying, whatever's going to happen, right? So we got to do that real quick, okay? So, 6:24. Time is Keri, right?
Yes.
Mazzuca.
Mm-hmm.
Date of birth.
4772.
And the address is, oh, here.
6234 Ostrander Road.
6234 Ostrander Road. And it's Altamont.
It is.
That's weird. I hate when they do that because it's so confusing. Like for us on stuff, like is it a hamlet? Is it a town? They should make this easy.
I have an issue with a tree, and it's the town's telling me it's county, county's telling me it's state. You got the
Yeah, because of
The roads.
146 and Ostrander. It always seems like it's like a jurisdiction to do things.
Trees are expensive. Getting those removed, let's get National Grid to do it.
I was hoping the town would do it, but they're telling me it's county.
So you gotta try and get the county to take care of it.
Let's tell them that the town's in the county. There you go. Two. Now, Keri, my mother's gonna be mad at me for this, but I have to ask you how old you are here, because I'm not good at
52.
math. 52 years old. I am speaking with detectives. Now, I gotta warn you, we have to do this. Some things might not sound flattering, right? But it's the truth, and these are, we have to tell the truth in these. So it's not to offend you, it's not to belittle you or anything like that.
Right.
We're just writing the truth of what happened here. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to just run me through it, like when you moved to Albany, just don't go too fast because I'm pretty slow at writing.
Okay.
So let's do this here.
Oh, so I moved to Albany.
Your words, not mine,
right.
yours.
I moved to Albany. I don't know the month. In 1997.
Okay, moved to Albany in 1997. I don't know the month though. Is that correct?
I don't.
And I'm not sure what month.
Okay.
You have a 1997?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Then let's go here.
Alright.
Whatever you, just recalling the event,
Okay, do I have to start with, I don't even know what date, you said it was September 7th?
No, as you remember it. Sometime, whenever you remember. If you don't remember the date, you don't remember.
Okay.
That's one of those things that like I was saying, it's the truth as you remember it, So, your words here. This is,
Alright, sometime after moving.
Okay.
I gave birth in my bathtub.
Okay.
After giving birth, I placed my hands.
Hands.
Hey, I don't know if it was one or two.
okay, just as, here's the thing, I don't want you to say something you're not sure of, right? So, best.
And
Okay.
Place my hand.
over the baby, nose and mouth.
Okay.
I put baby on floor.
Put the baby on the floor.
Cut my umbilical cord.
You're gonna have to help me with umbilical.
UM
Yeah, I think it's UM.
BILLICAF? I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds about right. That'll be my guess.
Umbilical cord.
Thank you. I'm a horrible spouse.
Um,
Okay, I cut my umbilical cord.
got myself cleaned up and dressed.
Okay.
Put the baby. In a bag. With a towel. And I don't know if I'm missing things I need to say here.
If there are, so at the end of this, if there's anything that we had talked about before, I'll probably do a question and answer format with you, just because it's a lot on you.
Okay.
I try and make it as easy as I can for people, so we'll take care of that. Just, these are your words.
I carried bag to my car.
Hmm?
I got in and drove.
Got in my car and drove.
I ended up at Washington Park.
Okay.
I took baby.
I'll add in a the there. How about that? I took the baby. Does that work?
Took the baby. Okay.
And
Just whatever you did.
and dropped. I put down.
And put it down. Okay.
I set towel on fire.
I set the towel on fire. Okay.
And left.
And left, and went.
I left the park and went home.
Anything else?
No, I no.
No, that's fine. So here, I'm going to do that question answer format I was talking about with you. Do you want me to list Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
Miss.
Please.
My sister did that too. She kept her married name. Is it for the kids? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
They have nothing to do with their father really, so it's they want me to keep the name.
That's good you guys talk about it. Not a lot of parents do that actually. You know, seek the input from their kids. It's just kind of, I'm doing what I'm doing. All right, so when you placed your hand over the mouth and nose of the baby, was it breathing?
Yes.
Question marks are so awkward to draw, aren't they?
Okay. So did your intentional actions cause the death of the baby?
Yes.
See how the question answer format just kind of helps out in the end for a complete account. So did you know what you were doing would cause the death or cause the baby to die?
Yes. I don't know how else to answer that. No.
It's the truth. Like I said, these are all just writing down the
Just
truth. It's
to answer that. No.
the truth. Like I said, these are all just writing down
It's
the
just-
truth. It's a factual. All this is a factual account of
Right.
what you remember
I
from
mean,
that
do
time.
right.
It could make someone look great. It could make someone look like shit. But the truth's the truth. So where was the towel when you set it on fire?
Under baby? By baby?
Under baby? Or under or by baby?
Yes. I'm not really sure. Near the baby.
I think I just have one last question, unless you have any. Here. So my last question is, why did you set the towel on fire while it was on the baby?
To get rid of DNA or fingerprints or.
To get rid of DNA or fingerprints?
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that. I'm saying fingerprints
Oh.
because we're talking DNA today. I didn't.
Game changer, right?
Right.
Right? Wild.
I didn't even know if there would be any on the towel. I don't.
Yeah, no, usually we don't get the fingerprints off towels. It's not like CSI. Except no, with the DNA, that gets everywhere.
But I don't watch any of that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't.
Anything else? Hey, Keri, so give this a read for me. If there's anything that you don't agree with that's not correct, you would like changed, please let me know. Like I said, that's just the documentation of your version of events. You can't read my handwriting, correct?
Okay.
Barely, right?
No, it's actually very nice.
Is that all right? So I just need to, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to write a paragraph here just that I've given the statement of my own free will and all that good stuff.
I'll make sure I have you read that before we're over here. Okay, so let me just write your name up top here. Keri Mazzuca. It's, you gotta dot the I's, cross the T's. Okay, so just read that last little bit that I added in there. So here's what we need to do. So lastly, I need you to read this out loud for me.
All statements made herein are punishable as Class A misdemeanor pursuant to Section 210.45 of Penal Law
Yeah.
of the State of New York.
So all that's saying, if you're lying is crime, it doesn't appear that you're lying, so don't worry about it. So here, take that, place your initials after York, just state that you understand that. All right, and then sign right here. Now this one's going to be a little different because after each time you respond, I just want you to put your initials. Right after baby here too, that's you.
Do you signature on that one?
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry. Thank God you're paying attention. All right. Initial there. Initial after, just close out so I can't add anything. And actually, one more thing. What I want you to do is draw a line from right here to right here. Yep. And then put your initials on it. That way nothing can be added to your version of events. Yep. And sign right there. I'll also sign it in front of you, and Bob will witness it here.
Yep.
And that way it's official. And then we're going to step out and figure out exactly what we're going to do. Fair? Anything we didn't ask you that you would like to add in or you think's important, by the way? It's important to hear your voice too, right? Like,
No, I mean, it happened. I was stupid. I was dumb. I was young. I was embarrassed, and I honestly, I'm kind of glad it's over because somebody else knows at this point.
you feel relieved.
I do, in a way. Yeah.
That had to eat you up.
For years it did, but then
Now you've made peace with it.
I did. I think after having my kids, and I don't know. I don't know if I made peace with it. I just,
Learn to cope with it, I
I
should
guess,
say.
yes.
Well, that's like any trauma, you know. It doesn't matter if it's
5 years, 20 years.
yeah, it doesn't matter if it's military service, first responder,
Mhm.
car crash.
I mean, I've had so much other crap in my life. You know, my house robbed, my divorce. You know, it's just.
Yeah.
Now, if you can find the people that robbed my house years ago, that'd be.
Well, been a little busy with some other things, and it's Gilderland. If they did it here, I would catch them, I swear to God. I love investigating burglaries, actually.
Do you?
They're one of my favorite. You know why? 'Cause they're so hard. I love them. They never found who broke in your house?
They did not find who broke into my house, and the weirdest thing was whoever broke into my house took all of our all my jewelry, all the crap, everything. Didn't touch anything in the kids' rooms.
That's one of your kids' friends.
No, they think it was because I live by the industrial park. They think it was one of the people.
I'm just telling you. That's
My kids were like 5 and.
Oh, yeah.
People that like run the train tracks that come through. That does happen.
Could be a beggar. All right. You good on water? Do you need anything else, man?
No,
Okay.
Do you use restroom or anything?
no. My daughter, I'm sure, probably called me 15 times from Chicago, but yeah,
She an early riser?
she works.
What's the time difference? An hour
An
or
hour.
2? Hour. Okay. All right, Terry, hang tight a second here. Thank God we got people that are good at their jobs out there that can find this quickly for us. All good. So, Mike. How, alright, maybe we might be waiting a second here. How familiar with him are you? Like,
Don't talk to him at all.
back then, I'm
Okay.
saying.
Oh, very.
Very.
Yeah, we went to school together. We graduated. He graduated before me, but yeah.
Like you recognize him walking down the street
Yeah.
if you saw him. Okay. How many times do you think you saw him in person?
Over the years,
Yeah.
thousands. Like I said, we were in high school together.
No. Okay. We might be on the wrong one. Like I said, it's been a lot today, so it might be the wrong. I think they got the wrong name, but this is why we check our work, right? So moving forward, right? I know you asked, am I getting arrested? You are not being arrested today. Okay. What I can tell you is this is an investigation, right? There's a lot of moving parts to it. And part of that is we might have to talk to you again at some point, okay? So don't be surprised. I would try and not just pop up at your house randomly because, I don't know who you have there.
My kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or my son and his girlfriend.
Right. So I ideally probably wouldn't do that. Okay, it'd probably be a coordinated thing where I'd call you and say, hey, Keri, I want to link up with you. But if it's something like real urgent, we might go to the house. We try and use as much discretion as possible, not to blow you up.
Right.
We've talked to people about all kinds of stuff of very sensitive natures, and
Right.
it is what it is. We're not trying to put anyone on blast or anything like that, right? So expect that. That is a possibility, right? It's not the sense of like we're going to go screaming from the rooftops. Keri Mazzuca did, this thing in 1997. This is all about the truth.
So it's not going to be on the news like tomorrow, so I have to warn my parents?
No, it's not going to be on the news, right? Now, moving forward, is it possible that you could be arrested at some point? Maybe. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's people want answers. I showed you. I mean, do you remember watching the news around that time?
I didn't watch the news around that time.
It was a big deal.
Because I didn't
want to see. Yeah. Well, I will tell you that it was a rather big deal and a lot of people paid attention to it, right? Does that mean you're a bad person? No. And people make mistakes all the time, right? And as I've said numerous times to you, and I will continue to say throughout my life, everything is explainable, where your headspace was at that time. And I didn't live your life. I don't know what you were, as I was telling you,
right.
What you were seeing, what you were smelling, what you were hearing, what you were thinking. So all that shit goes into consideration, right? So, I mean, it is a possibility, right? So, however, this is one of those things where you could gamble it, like, hey, maybe nothing will ever happen. I'm good, right? Or this is something where you can tell your parents, give them a call or whatever, be like, hey.
So I was stopping. This is a person thing.
Yeah. It's just the whole thing, and a lot of times, usually we're used to a little bit more street violence down here, right? Like the
I'm worried about
shootings.
my career and everything too.
Yeah, rightfully so. You don't know. I mean, which is partially why I have to ask you. Are you thinking about harming yourself?
No.
Okay.
No.
Any access to guns, anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. You understand why I have to ask, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
This is dead?
Yes.
Okay. That's baby's dead?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just explaining to her, we might have to pop back in, ask her some questions at one point. We'll probably try and do a coordinator call.
It's freezing here, I'm sorry.
She was just asking about if she's going to be arrested, and I told her we don't know, right? There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things we got to do. Definitely a possibility. For 100%, I do not want you leaving here and be like, I'm good.
No, I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm good about not being in trouble.
Yeah,
or
no.
that.
I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah. Is there a possibility it could happen? Yeah, maybe. Is there a possibility it couldn't? You never know. So,
I'm banking on it will, because that's my life.
What do you mean that's my life?
It just, that black cloud,
Yeah. Some people are more prone to just fall into. Yeah. I try and watch my language, but
Sorry.
sometimes they just flow.
Sorry.
But it's honestly, it boils down to I'm a different person I was 27 years ago. Like even little things, right? Like talking about the fire. Like no, I was trying to because if you look at it from the outside, right? Someone sees this as this baby set on fire, and they're like, "What monster did that?" But you lay out your logic of no, I wasn't trying to hurt the baby. I was trying to destroy physical evidence, right? So honestly, explaining things like that and talking it out, things aren't always what they appear, right? I mean, is it a killing of a human being? Yes. Yeah, it's an intentional killing, but the heinous part of it, you offered an explanation, which, okay, fair enough. So as far as dealing with that and prepping people, if that's something you choose to do, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you what to do or how to live your life.
Right.
You got anything?
Nope. Pretty good. We went over everything.
Do you have any questions of me? I've asked you a lot of questions.
No,
Yeah. This whole thing's unfortunate. I
It's
wish.
very, very unfortunate, and I wish I'd come forward years ago, but again, 25, young, stupid, didn't know how to handle, nobody knew anything, and I came back, and like I said, I blocked it out of my
Yeah.
head, and
It's called compartmentalization.
Mhm.
People do it.
I just, I'm now, hindsight, like I worry about my kids and my relationship with my kids. And,
Oh yeah. I
you
mean,
know, they don't speak with their father at all, and all they have, and this could.
here's the thing. Everyone's got skeletons in their closet, just of different degrees,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but this is killing somebody. You know what I mean? Like this is actual murder.
Yeah.
It's not.
You know what though? The path of dealing with it, and you probably do feel better actually telling someone. I guarantee you'll sleep the hardest night you've ever slept in your life.
Mm.
I'm telling you.
It's a huge load that's been lifted, getting it out.
Yeah, no, I think because I've just hid it for so long that it's like I almost forgot about it, to be honest with you, and that's.
Yeah.
And now, no, I won't sleep tonight.
Well,
Because I'll be worried, I'm worried about life. Not my, I won't physically harm myself or anything like that. Just the consequences now.
right.
Where, yeah.
Getting out,
Where
people,
it goes from here.
it's on the news, my life, my friends, I lose my friends, I lose my family, I lose my.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Those are all very legitimate concerns. I'm not going to lie to you. Those are legitimate concerns.
Mhm.
But you can't put a price on doing the right thing. Even if you made a mistake, as bad as it could be.
This one was bad.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's not good. But, dealing with it head on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, the little dance we played at first, like, that can only last so long.
I know. And I even now, I think I just blocked it out so much that you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say I was lying to you because I wasn't. It was just
It takes a little bit to deal with.
right,
That's not
I
something you
think
come
it's
right
just-
out and say.
No, I think I just.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's over.
Is it though?
Well, the fear of, oh my God, someone's going to find out. We know.
Right.
We know. And, trying to minimize things, that's not the way to deal with it. Deal with it head on.
Mhm.
And the truth head on is, you had a kid, you freaked out, you didn't want to
Killed
have
it.
the kid anymore, you put your hand over its mouth, you stopped its breathing, you killed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you set a towel on fire that was on the baby to destroy the evidence. Right?
Mhm.
So, it's what it is.
Mhm.
With that being said, we're going to get you out of here in a minute. Okay?
Am I I'm supposed to be going to Florida in November. Am I free to go to Florida in November, or is that a down the road thing? Is that a?
That's a down the road thing. Let's take it one thing at a time here, right? So, we'll go from there. Okay?
Yeah,
Seriously, seriously, this is a lot for what, let's deal with what we just unpacked.
I know, I just need to know, like, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of uncertainties in life, right? You never know what each day is going to bring, because I'm not going to tell you a definitive one way or another, because I don't know.
And is this like jail time?
It possibly, yes. You know, it could be. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, Keri. Is like,
You don't know.
I don't know. These things are beyond our control. What I can tell you is, I have a very simple job to do, and that's put a puzzle together and figure out what the truth is.
You figured out the truth.
And we, you and I, and Bob, through an honest conversation, have figured out what the truth is. Okay? So give us a sec. We're going to step out. We're going to collect your stuff. We have your car keys. We have your phone. We have your purse out there. We have your ID here. And we're going to get you a ride. Okay? All right. Hang on.